All right. And for those who don't know, this is actually the second event and perhaps the last one in 2021 of the series of what we call Shaping the Future of Tribe, where we're going to hear from the founders of Tribe on what is coming down in the pipeline, what are the midterm plans of the company. And today, in the second series of Shaping the Future of Tribe, we're gonna dive into the developers portal and what Tribe is going to offer to developers and especially to our customers to extend the functionality of Tribe. I have here with myself Sohail. Sohail is our Chief Product Officer and the co-founder of Tribe, and Siavash, our CEO and technical co-founder of Tribe. So welcome, guys, to the call today. And so what we are going to cover today is really about the developers portal that we'll be releasing soon. It is all actually planned for early next week, where we're going to make it publicly available. What you're going to see today is what is already ready and will be released next week. But if you are interested to get access to that, please let us know, and we'll be happy to share the beta access and the early access even this week with you guys. So with all that, I'm going to pass it to Sohail. First, he's going to just tell us what is the developers portal and why we are building this. And then Siavash is going to walk us through some exciting demos.
Thank you, Mo. Thanks very much. So the developer portal is a very exciting chapter in Tribe's mission. I think in the previous chapter, we talked about three things that we wanted to do with Tribe and how we think that communities should be. One was customizability, which we covered in the past session. This time, we wanted to talk about the extendability. And I think all of you guys have experienced it at some point in time that whenever you're working at something, being it as a creator or being it as a business, the information is pretty much scattered everywhere. Like you have your data in probably Intercom, your chats in Zendesk. And I remember back in time when I was actually responding to the customers, when someone was like sending me a message, I had to actually go check another product to see how many tickets they have created, or if I would be able to actually, if they reported a bug, if I would be able to go and look at their full story. So I had a lot of tabs open trying to actually connect everything. And we do believe that the whole idea of a community is actually about bringing people together. And it would be really amazing that if it would be just one hub that we are going to actually have all of this information. The whole idea of a community is actually create that exclusive experience. So you know your people, you know your customers. And in order to understand your customers and the people that are using your community, what else is actually having all these information aggregated in one place. So whenever you are actually responding to someone, whenever you are actually talking to someone, it would be really good that if you have a context about that person. And there are going to be a lot of people, so you are probably going to not remember everyone or even recall a chat from the past year. So with no further ado, I think the exciting part is the stuff that Siavash is going to talk about. We are going to show you a sneak peek of what is possible with the developers portal and what you can do and how people can contribute to building their own products and actually start extending the possibility of Tribe and actually taking it to complete new height of what community can be. So Siavash, if you are ready, please get us started.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Sohail. I'm super excited for today. There are tons of things as a technical co-founder. I've been waiting for this moment for a while. So initially, I want to, as Sohail mentioned, I want to showcase and show you like what is the possibility with developers portal. And some of the things that we're showing, we don't have it yet. But let's actually go into future and then see what can be done or what we believe should be able for developers that they should be able to do. And then we'll go back and see like where we are at today and then go through all the different options that we currently have and also maybe build a quick app together to just wrap it up. Again, usually like doing live coding is not that fun. Sometimes it's fun. Let's see. So let's jump into the demo and what the future would look like. So I'm going to share my screen. I think you should make me a host, Mo, if possible. to be able to share the screen. But overall, okay, I'm host now, so let me just quickly share the screen. Okay, so for those of you that feel like this looks very different from what Tribe looks like right now, this is the new UI that you're currently trialing in beta. So don't worry about that. I'm going to jump into the things that developers should be able to add to the product. So as you can see, we have our feed here. And the first thing that you see here is that, hey, like Elon Jobs just posted a message and we have this like welcome app welcoming Elon and saying like, hey, it seems it's your first post, welcome to Tribe. So this is just one use case of what apps can do. They can listen to things using webhooks and then interact based on like some logic. It could be like, look, if this person is in our customers list and do something different, or create a notification for this member whenever they do an action based on like what they have done. Or you could send them an email or do whatever you want. So we are going to actually move through this and then show you like how these things can be possible. The next thing that you're seeing here is that, well, we have a new block here. As I've mentioned before, Tribe is all about customizability and extensibility. And in here, you're seeing both of them at one point. So first of all, as an admin, I was able to add this particular block, which is a Shopify block right there. And a developer actually built this Shopify block, and it's accessible for anyone without knowing any coding knowledge. So that's another piece. Developers will be able to add new blocks to the community or to other, like even other communities if they release it. Now, let's go to something else. So if I click on this 3 dots here, as you can see, usually like we only have like edit, delete, and hide. But in here, we do have like create ticket and add to Jira because these 2 apps were installed. So with one click of a button, I can actually create a ticket about like someone requesting if they can have a dark mode as an example. And then we can also add it to Jira maybe for developers to see it right away. And the cool thing is that if I go into this post, Zendesk has also a card next to this post that shows like the connected ticket to this particular post and what's the status of it. So this is just a very like common use case that we're seeing. Again, how can we make sure that everything you need is around where you're usually like browsing and using the product, and how can we make like this community a hub for all your customers? Now, if I go to my user profile here, as you can see, we have like a few blocks here as well. So we have the Salesforce block, which actually shows like some information from Salesforce in real time. So these information are not like saved in Tribe. It's just sending a request to the app, and the app just fetches the data and shows like, hey, Mo is actually the account manager of Silvash, which is a little bit weird, and then the account name is like Tribe Technologies, and here is the deal size. So you can see all those information right here. So when you are replying to this person, like you have some context around it. Also, what was the latest tickets and how many tickets this person has opened. So all these things would be possible through like our developer portals. I can click actually on this 3 dots, and then also developers can add new actions here to the member profile. As an example, starting a Zoom call or syncing with, I don't know, my own app. So I have a product and I want to sync some information from the community to my product. I would be able to do all those things really easily using like this, or Calendly, as Sohail is mentioning in the chat. So these are like just a few of the things that will be available. Now, this is just the first step that we are taking on the developers portal. So all the things that you've seen are not available right now, but we're going back, take a step back and see like what we have today and how can we use it, and also like what would be the order of things that we're going to create in the future. Okay, let's jump into our developers portal then, and feel free to ask any questions if you have while I'm displaying like our current version of developer portal.
And Siavash, while you're bringing up the demo, I think what this is showing me is the capability of bringing the community to the core of the business, right? Like You have a lot of automations that you can build. There's a lot of possibility for data sync. So we had, for example, this customer that knew where their customers are located, and based on that information, they wanted to add those to certain spaces. So the possibilities are really endless with the developers portal in terms of how you can really bring the community and put it in the heart of your business processes.
Exactly. There are like a lot of things that you can do in this, and maybe like name some real life examples right there as well. Okay, so here we go. In the developers portal, we call it like partners.tribe.so, and it will be available to everyone as soon as like early next week. The idea is like there will be a lot of other stuff here, like the affiliate program and all those things will fit in here. But today we're going to focus mostly on Tribe for devs actually. So in here, I can simply like create an app, and then each app has like a community owner, and there are like many different reasons behind that. We're going to cover it later if there are any questions, but each app should have like a network or a community assigned to it. I've already like created an awesome app here, so I'm not going to create another one. Let's actually click on it and see what we have. So first of all, pretty basic stuff. You can just add logo, add some description, and delete the app. And then the exciting part is here. You can actually fetch the client ID and client secret of this app, where this is used for like doing any type of like API requests to Tribe. And as you may know, we have this like GraphQL endpoint, and there are documentations around it. And you can actually use this client ID and client secret to send actions as a bot account. In this case, it will be shown as awesome app. So another example is just we went over it, like this welcome app. This is an app. It's not a user here. And if I even click on it, as you can see, it's marked as an app for an example. So I can actually use this to also impersonate a certain user, meaning that maybe I don't want to send a message on behalf of a bot account. I want to send it on behalf of the account manager, as an example. So that would be also possible through this pretty simple UI and using these information. And then we have the signing secret is for webhooks. We're going to talk about it more later on. Then we have collaborators. So it's very important to understand, like first we wanted to see like, what are the dynamics of a developer? How would they interact with different communities? And are they inside the community, or are they an individual outside of the community, and they can actually publish their app to different basically communities or networks in the future? So the idea is like developer accounts are outside of the network or community. And the reason is that you can actually collaborate with other developers from other communities if you want and build apps for it. Imagine you're a owner of a Tribe community and you want to actually go to Fiverr or go work with a consulting agency to build an app for you. So you can come here simply without giving access to your community content, add their email address, and then they will be able to build an app for you, and they can publish it to their own community, and then you can actually use it and publish it to your community to test it. So without giving access to the information in the community, you're able to actually ask someone to build an app for it. And that was part of the reason that we separated the developer role from like the users inside the community. The next exciting part is the custom code snippet. So basically, you're able to very easily inject scripts into the community using an app. And we provide you with many different variables that you can use inside these custom scripts. As an example, if I want to build like a Google Analytics app really quickly, I can just paste the information from Google Analytics, and wherever I need like the name of the user, I can just use this, like we have also autocomplete for this, like member.name, and then I have access to the name of this user. And we're using Liquid here, which is a Shopify template engine, and a template engine which is more popular, but it was introduced for Shopify. So you can easily have like if statements here. So you can say if, I don't know, member.role is this as an example guest, or is it like admin do something, and then if it's like something, if it's a regular member, do something else. So you can have actually if and else statements right here inside the script. And we also take privacy very seriously. So we're going to let you know if this person accepted the cookie consent or did not accept the cookie consent and all those things. And you can do different actions based on the fact that they have, they are anonymized or they're not. So all those things are available there as well. And you can add the custom code to the head or to the body of your community, or any community that this app is installed on. As an example, if I just do this simple thing and then do like welcome member and then update this, if I go to this test community that I have created for developers and refresh the page maybe here, as you can see, like hello Siavash is already here. So the console log that I put there is here. It could have been like any other type of script, basically. So this will also allow developers of a company, by building like second-party apps, to package scripts inside the app. So for instance, when marketing team wants to change some ID in the code, they don't need to look at the code in the custom code snippet app that we already provide. You can just install the, I don't know, Hotjar app and then change the ID if they want. And the next piece is our webhooks. So you can very simply listen to different events that are available at Tribe, and there are many of them. So when the community is updated, when a member is updated or deleted or created, an invitation is accepted, a space is created, and all these events. So you can listen to these events very simply and do an action based on like what is happening. Again, an example of it was this. So I was listening on like when a post is created and I checked if it's reply and it's the first post of this person, let's actually welcome them using API. So in here, basically the webhook and the API played hand in hand to do just one simple action there. And the code of this is like, I think around like, I don't know, 30 lines of code. So we will cover that part as well. We have this developer SDK for JavaScript that will be released pretty soon. So you don't need to memorize any of our like GraphQL endpoints or queries and all those things. And last but not least, we have the ability for you to publish the app in the communities that you are a collaborator to or you're an admin to. So in here, I could just build a simple app and then publish it. In this case, I published it into like this community. I can simply like publish it in another community, and then it will be accessible inside the App Store. So if this is not the community I want to go to, let's go to this one. Yeah. So if I go to the admin panel here as an example, I would be able to see like this particular app that I just published into this community. And then all the things that I showed you will be only working if the app is installed. So in this case, because I have the app installed, I see that like console log in here. But if I just go here and install this app as the admin, and then this app cannot do any action. So let's actually uninstall it, click on refresh. And this time, as you can see, like the console log is not appearing because this app was uninstalled from the product. Let's install it back because we want to actually build an app pretty soon on it. Okay, and then if you have any questions or you want to better understand like how our API works and any of those, we have our API reference. So in here, this is our GraphQL API reference that you can actually do all the things. We have all the mutations, almost like, not almost, exactly all the things that you're doing at the product, they have an API for it because we are using our own basically SDK to build the UI on top of the product ourselves. So you can see that everything has an API here. Okay, so if you're okay, let's jump into just creating a very simple app together. I don't know how many developers we have here in the audience, but I promise I won't bore you. I will just copy and paste stuff from another page, so it will be like pretty quick. But let's go back to this like dev portal that dev community that I have created here. And there are no posts basically here at the moment. But I can actually share like this code pretty like quickly with you to just showcase like how easy it is to do something using our API. So again, I just imported our like Tribe clients here, which is our JavaScript SDK, and then entered our secret here. And I can simply use the code. Let me actually find the code and maybe like paste it here to create a simple post inside the community that I just showcased. So in here, I'm just saying like, hey, impersonate using the bot account. I don't want to impersonate as a particular user. And then I want to see all the post types that we have and find the discussion post type, and then find all the spaces and find the first space in here, and then create a post inside that space with the title of this is a test maybe, and the content of this is a test. So just saving it, and then let's see if it works. So coming here to the awesome app, just running like a command to run this particular script. And as you can see, the whole thing is like 54 lines of code. And I could actually do way better, but still like it's good. So if I come here, refresh the page using that thing, as you can see, this was posted as the awesome app that we have. And as you can see, it's not showing up in the leaderboard because it is an app, and well, apps will not be shown in the leaderboard or other gamification things that we have. Now, if I want, I could impersonate a user. So I can impersonate like Siavash and say like, this is a test post from Siavash as an example. And if I rerun this script again, it will actually send this post or create this post. Well, I think I didn't have my user ID, but you get the idea. So it could actually post that, send a post through or from this particular user ID. Let's actually see if I can quickly find the user ID here, the right one. Yeah, this is the right user ID, and then let's do it again. So the demo gods are happier. So let's go back and let's come here to the list. Yeah, this time it worked. Refreshing the page, and now I have the same post posted by Awesome App, but on behalf of the user. On the backend side, we know that this post was not posted by Siavash. So we also save like who was the owner of or the creator of this post other than the owner. So there are lots of like bot use cases that you can see, and this will get better and better when we release our notification APIs, where you can easily like create random notifications. When we release our private messaging, and you would be able to actually send private messages. And last but not least, when we release our gamifications. So imagine we have like the virtual wallets, and people, you can actually add credits to people based on what they do in the community or what they do in other products, as an example. Or you can actually add some reputation so they are higher in the leaderboard using these like simple API calls and webhooks. So this is where we are at today on the dev portal. But the next things that will be coming is like having the ability to add like setting pages to your app. So right now, if I go to, for instance, our app store and then go to our Google Analytics app or any of these. So let's go to, I need to install this app, but let's install our Google Analytics page. As you can see, like we have like this thing that asks for like some information here. So soon we will provide the ability for developers to design these setting pages so you can actually collect more settings from your users and then use them in the custom script or the API or the webhook. So all those will be available. So that's the first piece. And then next step would be like allowing our developers to introduce these cards that I've shown. So this is not yet out there, but it will be. So we have one more thing as well that will be released actually sooner than everything that I've mentioned, which is our React SDK. What does it mean? So many of you may have like some sort of like product already and are using like React there. So what if you could fetch all the information from us with like, I don't know, 10 lines of code. So say, here's like a tribe provider, and here's my access token that I generated for this particular user. Now I want a feed in the middle. And you would have the feed inside your app natively using our React SDK. Or you could say, I want the leaderboard at the right side of my own product. So you have a product and you want to add some social functionality to it. Using our React SDK, you would be able to do that without any friction. It's not even an iframe. It's the exact components inside your product, but the social components. So that's another thing that we're releasing soon. And the reason we believe we can release it really soon is that what you're seeing here is already using our React SDK. So we built our own app using that SDK. We didn't just build it from the scratch. So that's one thing that will be coming soon. And the next one is our Jot SSO. So it's very funny because when I went to the campfire, like an hour ago, somebody asked for if there is a seamless way to log into Tribe platform from mobile app. That's exactly what Jot SSO will let our members do. And by the way, this is the dark mode that we are testing. It's not out there yet, but hopefully like soon we'll release our dark mode as well to all of you. But let's go back to the Jot SSO. Jot SSO that will be released pretty soon, most likely like next week as well, will let our developers to use iframe or WebView and embed the community with a matter of like this many lines of code, generating a token, and then log their members seamlessly inside an iframe or their WebView inside their product. So as an example, if you're not using React or that's too much, basically you'll be able to just say, hey, here's the user that I want to log in. Here's the email address. I have it already in my product. Here is their ID. Here's first name and last name. And I want this token to be expired at this time. And then redirect the user, or inside the iframe or WebView, just use this link with the token that is generated, and we will log the user in automatically without any friction. They won't even know it's another product, to be honest, if you change the theme and make it your own. So that's one last thing that I wanted to share about Jot SSO. We are very excited to actually release all of these to you guys and then see what you will do with it. It's worth mentioning that at this point, we are just experimenting second-party apps, meaning that you will be able to build private apps for your community and or publish it to the friends that you have, like other friends that will give you like some sort of access. So right now at this point, we do not provide the ability to publish apps on our third-party app store. But that's something that we're looking forward to. And hopefully like soon we can enable any developer to build apps on top of Tribe and publish it and charge for it if they want. And we cannot wait to get there, to be honest. I think that's it. That's it from my side, just showcasing like what are the possibilities and when we are going to launch them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Siavash, for the explanation. I already see a lot of amazing use cases that can be built. We had a couple of amazing questions asked by the participants. We'll get there. But before we do that, can you talk a little bit about the plans that would have Jot as well as this custom app capability available? Like what plans are they going to support that, as well as like, is there any staging environment? What if somebody wants to build stuff before they're fully published?
Amazing question. So let's get back to our community again, our developer portal. So at this point, we allow these apps, these second-party apps, to be released on communities that are premium, on the premium plan, or enterprise premium or higher, basically. The good thing is that this is also available for trial premium. So if you want to build an app right now and you don't have a premium plan, you can simply just create a new community. It will be available for 14 days on the premium plan, and you can publish the app into that plan. Now, this is just an interim solution. Soon in this page, we'll have like a button called Create Staging Environment. And you would be able to easily like click on the Create Staging Environment as a developer, and it will have unlimited access to everything. So it will have everything that we provide on our even enterprise plan, almost everything. And you would be able to just publish app to it, test your app, test Jot, test like all these API or webhooks and all those stuff. But there is some sort of like limitations on these staging environments. The first one is that you're limited to 10 members on these staging environments. And second is that you won't be able to move the subdomain. So most likely it will have like its own subdomain and you cannot move it to a custom domain. And the third is that there will be some bar similar to what we have on the first version of Tribe that showcases like, hey, this is a under construction type of bar with the yellow and black strips. So it will showcase that this is a staging community, but anyone can actually utilize those to build apps. And again, as you can see, we are double downing on developers. We think that we should actually empower developers to do some like low code, basically programming and build these apps so we can unlock more use cases for no code community managers. And we believe like that's the only way that you can go forward, because if you think about it, every single community is different. They have different use cases, they want different results, they are measuring different things and all those things. So the only way that we can actually provide a solution that everyone can work with is to provide a way for them to customize everything in the product to their needs. And it's just the first step of partners. Like right now, it's just building apps. There will be like building themes. There will be building like space templates using this thing, even like building, I don't know, sticker sets, right? So all those things. So what we are having is like our partners that will be helping us. And we want our developers to earn money. So now it might be too early for it. That's why we're focusing on second-party apps. But soon, I believe like there will be businesses built on top of Tribe using it. And there will be actually startups. We are already seeing those. Like we have some startups that built their whole product on top of Tribe. And I think as we launch these things, there will be more of those.
Fantastic. So we have Praveen asking, what are the timelines for releasing the developers toolkit as well as the JWT and Jot authentication?
So hopefully like developer toolkits, what you're seeing here, actually you can ask for earlier access even this week, but it will be released to everyone with the new documentation. So the documentations that you see on developers on partners.tribe.so are not still the latest. So you'll have access to the latest documentations as well as the developer portal and a link to it as early as next week. And for the Jot SSO, hopefully like we are aiming for releasing it by the end of next week. However, it will be only working on the new interface that we're releasing. And we will just explain like how you can easily like switch to this new interface pretty soon, but it will be available hopefully like by the end of the week, worst case scenario, before the end of the year.
Fantastic. All right. And then Praveen was asking about the pricing. I think we already covered that. So Jot authentication is going to be available on the premium plan, and everything in developer portal like APIs, webhooks, they will also be available on premium onward. So that's the plan that would support these features. And Vanch is asking about inbuilt payment gateway. Is that something that would be available like as an app, so people be able to build apps that support charging users? I guess if Vansh, I got your question right, you can also elaborate on that.
That's a great question. We are still exploring the different ways. So there are different models there, right? Shopify has its own model. Slack has its own model. So on Slack, actually, they don't charge. The developer is the owner of the app and they charge it there. On Shopify, on the other side, like there is some payment mechanism for actually charging. We're still looking into it, and that's exactly why we're not just focusing a lot on the third-party apps yet, and we're focusing mostly on second-party because there is a ton to figure out. So like, how can we measure security if it's a third-party app? How can we figure out like the payments for it? What's the publishing process? What's the standard that we have? Like, if we think about it, like if you compare us, we're a platform, right? And you're focusing a lot on being a platform. There are two approaches. One is the Android approach and one is the iOS approach in the like publishing process. So on Android, it gives a lot more flexibility to developers, but the quality of the apps are not as good and all the apps are not working together. On iOS, it's very hard to publish something, but everything is high quality and they can work together. So we want to find a balance in between for Tribe that like, hey, how can we make something that gives a lot of flexibility to developers, but everything really works together? Like that's the idea. So to give you an example, this is, I don't know, like a widget that was created by an app, right? A block. But if I go to like my preferences, again, this is not a feature that we have released yet, but if I enable actually dark mode on my machine using like this thing and go back, as you can see, like this thing is also in dark mode. So again, like how can we provide a way for developers not to just embed like an iframe here? That will come as well, an iframe, but how can we provide them a way to use our components and everything should work together? Not only on web in the future when we are releasing our phone app, all these apps should natively work there.
Fantastic. And Joe was asking, I think this is probably some question that we get a lot. Are these apps, can these apps be built as private apps that is only available to their community, or is it something that is going to be publicly available? And I think you can just talk about that and later on the marketplace that we are offering.
Yeah, the initial plan is like it will be only available for the communities that you have access or they give you a collaborator access to. So it's a like more close relationship with the companies that you are releasing. So you can be actually a consulting agency or a dev shop and build apps and then release it as private apps to the people that buy your apps or pay you, or they have like some sort of partnership with you. In the future, again, we are figuring out how we can open it up so anyone can build a third-party app. Now, in the meantime, if you think like you have an app that is useful for everyone else and you want to release it, feel free to contact us. Maybe like we'll work together and figure out like a different way for you to release that app into our public marketplace. And we have done it previously on like the V1 version as well, where we didn't have it through developer portal, but 30% of our apps were built by our developers or the community. So we will do that, the same thing on Tribe 2.0, the new Tribe platform as well.
Great. So yes, the private apps is something that we'll start with, and the availability would be on premium plan since it will be using APIs and webhooks, and it targets a more advanced type of user. We have one more question from John. So he already kind of took it in the chat, but I think it's worth talking about it because it kind of touches on the idea of blocks. And it's John is asking if it's possible to show paid ads in a Tribe community. And I think this relates to the possibility of adding the block similar to the Shopify block that you have in there.
Yeah, so I believe that can be done as basically a block, as Mo mentioned as well. So we'll provide a way to maybe inject like some scripts here. So I think it's a combination of a block and a custom script that can be used to handle this case. Now, there is another thing that we need to provide, and we're thinking about how we want to tackle it. I know that you need to have like an /ads.txt file, and it's very relevant to having like, I don't know, robots.txt and all those things. So there's some of these like root files or text files that we need to provide to the members for all these things to work for the SEO and for the ads and for targeting and all those things. So it requires like a few different things to be done, but overwriting a route is something that we are also looking into. If apps should be able to overwrite a route, it's a little bit like more complicated, because if like two apps are overriding the same route, like we need to figure out what happens. But we're looking into it. Right now, we don't have it. You can kind of do it using just custom scripts, to be honest, and then appending like a card to the end. So we can actually try to see if that's possible, but the ads.txt is not there yet.
Perfect. Thank you. There was a clarification question was asked by Vanch about whether there could be also apps that is available on Basic and Plus. And I think the answer is yes, because although the custom apps, if you want to build your custom apps, you need to be on premium plan. But there are already apps that are created. Zapier is a good example, Google Analytics. So there are apps that are already published in our app store, and they are available on lower plans. But if you want to have something that is built custom for you based on the APIs, the webhooks, things of that sort, you would need to be on the premium plan. This is a question that we often get. It was asked also by Joe, was mainly talking about like the customers that we have on previous plans and previous version that are looking to move to the new plan. I think this is a question that we get. If you can touch on that, Siavash, and like what are our plans for 2022 on migrating customers in previous version and on the plans that they were to the new version?
Amazing question. So I think we have like two big chunks that are missing, except the API and things that we are releasing like today. The first chunk is gamification features. And the reason that we postpone gamification, like the virtual wallets and also our reputation, like we have the leaderboard, but it's a very simple one. The reason we postponed it was that we believed we should do it the right way this time on the new Tribe platform. And it's to give the ability, add a property to members field. One is called like credit or virtual wallet, whatever we call it, which is a spendable unit. And the other one is reputation, which is not spendable and you cannot transfer it. So if we just build these two things and then allow apps to increase and decrease these things, I mean, the possibilities are like infinite. And that's the way we wanted to handle it. That's why we are releasing basically dev portal before the gamification stuff, because we believe they work hand in hand. And the second part is our private messaging. So there are like these two really big chunks that we're working on. And I feel like when we release these two, we have enough feature parity with the first version of Tribe, and we can provide a way for them to upgrade. I don't have an exact ETA, like we are aiming for Q2 of next year. But again, it all depends on like how comfortable our customers on the new platform are compared to what we had like on the previous version.
Super, thank you. And the other question was around an app idea and whether that type of experience would be possible. So there's a question that if there is a way to query the data for a specific user. So let's say if somebody has purchased a product in the past, that purchase could show up in the community.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the logged in member information will be available on our custom scripts, on all the webhook requests that we send out. So we will send a webhook request and you will know which user is there. And all those things are available. And you can also query specific users using our like API. Actually, it's so simple that I think I can just showcase it right now. So in the same code that we had, I could just remove all these things that I have here and just say, hey, I want, and everything has autocomplete in this client. So I can say, I want users or members and then .get, and then in here I need the ID of the member, so I can just post it, and then I can say what fields I want. So I want all the fields here. So if I just save this and run this script again, I will get all the information of this particular user using the API right here. I didn't console log. So let's do like const member equal to this, and then let's console log it maybe so we can see it. So if I do this and just run this again, it will just showcase all the information of this particular user. As you can see, like what's the profile picture, is it verified, like what's the email status, all those things, the tagline. And in the future, when we have like the custom member fields, that will be available here as well.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Siavash. I think that's the benefit of having being a technical co-founder. You can just like code live and show what the possibilities are. So if you have any, like we're just taking the final batch of questions, want to move to the final part where we talk about like what you can do moving forward. Pravin is asking if there is any way at the moment, there is no way to make our users log into Tribe Portal from our mobile app without signing up in the Tribe Portal or logging using OAuth the first time. So maybe, Siavash, you can elaborate a little bit about how this seamless login experience would be created the moment we release Jot.
Yeah, so the way it works is that using Jot, basically you will be able to handle this like seamless experience, basically. So we have like the sample, we are going to add the sample code for some other languages like Swift and like Python and other languages as well. But the idea is like you will take a private key from the admin panel that is available to you if you have you are on the right plan. And then in here, you just enter the user's information. So in your phone app, you already know their email address. You already know their first name, last name, and all those things. And then create a Jot token or JWT token using it. And this is the thing that you will show in the iframe or the web view in your mobile. So instead of just directing them right to the community, you'll put your community URL /API/auth/SSO and then the token. In this case, we will figure out if this user already exists in our community or not. If they exist, we just update the information. If it doesn't exist, we'll create a new user. And it will be seamless. Like they wouldn't even understand, like they're not logging in, they're not doing anything. Everything is fully updated and they can use it. So that's the plan. You would be able to easily do it using Jot.
All right, super. So I think probably the short answer is that yes, once we have Jot released next week, you will find that under authentication in the admin panel. And if you just provide it to your developers, they would be able to create this seamless login experience. Ranch was asking if the app is on basic plan, will the user need to sign in back again when they open the app? So the answer is as long as you're on the right plan where that supports the authentication through single sign-on, once the login is created, there is a cookie that gets created. And correct me if I'm wrong, Siavash, like once they log in, they don't have to re-log in every time they visit the community. Is that right?
Yeah, and in general, I think because you will be using the Jot token, you're technically re-logging them in with the updated information. So if they update their, I don't know, name on your product, if you use the Jot, their name will be always up to date. So we suggest not to just rely on cookies, but always like use this like Jot endpoints for them to log in.
All right, perfect. I have this great question from Jacob, and he says, can members log into the community from more than one device at the same time? And if so, is there any way to stop this from happening?
So let me show you something. This is a feature that will be coming soon. It's not released and it will not be, we're still like figuring a few things on it. Let me see if I can really quickly uncomment that part of the code so I can show it to you. But we are storing all the sessions that users are logging in, and we are, let me do this. I'm going to.
It would be really interesting that if Jacob, would you write in the chat that like I really wanted to understand like what would be the use case of it? Like if you wanted to prevent other people to log in with your account, like is it because you think of there as a paid members, they paid and they might share accounts? It's really interesting because I haven't seen something like this in other platforms that you would try to prevent people to log in, but it would be good if you can shed some light on your use case. Thank you.
Yeah. While we're receiving like the answer in the chat, here's like a new thing that you're launching that shows like all the active sessions of a particular user. And then you can also have like log out any of these sessions on different devices. So we are showing like what was the last activity and also like when it was initiated and all those things. It's not out yet, but with this, actually, you can figure out using our webhooks, and whenever a user is logged in, you can actually figure out how many sessions they have and log out all other sessions. Or even log out like, I don't know, the last session or the first session, and all those things would be possible. But it's very good to understand like what's the use case, because most likely if you want to prevent sharing accounts, the easiest way is like that some companies use is confirmation using text. So you cannot always log in unless you actually confirm your identity every single time using text. And that way you can just make it like really hard for people. Alternatively, you can use our APIs to just deprecate other sessions as soon as like a new session is active.
Perfect. So like a custom app that logs out if there is more than one session from the user. That's quite interesting. Yeah. So Praveen was asking if, and this is like not related necessarily to the developers portal, but if there is going to be any global posting action that like instead of just going to spaces individually in order to create a post. I know it's in the roadmap and we're going to be releasing it hopefully before the end of the year.
Yeah, we're working on it. So right now, the whole reason we've added like this plus button here as a global, right now it only has like add space, add collection, and invite members. Not all the like invite members most likely should not be here. We're still experimenting. The whole purpose was to add post and different types of posts right here. Also a global composer here that you can create quick actions. So you can actually add a composer here with a button under it where it says like request feature, and automatically it opens up like the composer or like the post creation model, and then it automatically selects like feature requests. There's a ton, like we will get there. Like we are working really hard on this. There's tons of moving pieces as we speak.
Perfect, thank you. And Joe was asking if he's creating his own app. I'm like, we have 2 more minutes and we might not be able to get all the questions. Would they be able to get the mobile notifications? And like maybe you can talk about how embedding inside mobile would work, especially when it comes to notifications.
So on higher plans, we will provide an ability to a webhook to subscribe to notifications. So if something is happening in a space that has like 200 members in it, there will be like 200 webhooks that will be fired. And you can actually use Firebase or whatever other products you want for push notifications or pusher and use those. If you're on a lower plan, you can just listen to post create and then figure out like which post and then find the subscribers and send the notifications to those as well.
All right, thank you so much. And the final question that we're going to get live is it possible to make adding a tag required when somebody is posting something in the community or not?
So we are making some changes in general in the way we are handling tags. Right now, tags are under space. We are making tags, first of all, like global. And then we have like some designs about like how to enforce tags or even like limit some tags for only admins, for instance. Nobody other than admins can add this tag and some other things. Moving tags to global will be something that will be early next year, and adding like more settings to it will be there as well. Most likely we will be handling it using post types. So when we introduce like different types of posts and you can add like new post types with, for instance, events, which is start date and end date, then you can make any of the fields required or not required. So we want to figure out a better approach, a more holistic approach that can be reused for everything rather than just solving like one simple use case.
Perfect. All right, we're almost at the time. Just wanted to thank everybody for joining us in the second series of Shaping the Future of Tribe. This is the last one again in 2021. So we wish everyone a great holiday season as well as great new year. Just as a reminder, if you're interested to stay tuned, like always join our community at Campfire. So you can always go to community.tribe.so. That's where we have our entire team from product, from support, from sales. I would love to engage with you guys there. So Siavash, thank you for bringing that up. It's under community.tribe.so. We have a lot of different spaces that you can engage with either customers or our team at Tribe. Thank you guys again. Thank you, Siavash. Thank you, Soel.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.